Noise for the richest man in the world.
So Elon Musk had a busy weekend getting booed on stage in San Francisco with Dave Chappelle, accusing Anthony Fauci of funding gain-of-function research and killing millions of people, releasing more of the Twitter files, in which he said under pressure from hundreds of activist employees, Twitter deplatforms Trump, a sitting US president, even though they themselves acknowledged that he didn't violate the rules. One of the things in the Twitter drop from Barry Weiss says things escalate from here. Members of that team came to view him as the leader of a terrorist group responsible for violence deaths comparable to Christchurch shooter or Hitler, and on that basis and on the totality of his tweets, he should be deplatformed. So they compared him to Hitler and the Christchurch shooter. Shocking. Not. And Ye accuses Elon of being a Silicon Valley frontman for carbon credits.
Elon is the frontman for carbon credits. Tesla wouldn't have been profitable without carbon credits. It's not about rockets, not about Mars. It's not about Tesla.
We'll play that clip at the end. Now, before we start our live, here's footage from Twitter of Elon Musk getting booed in San Francisco. The show starts soon.
Elon. Hey, Dave.
Weren't expecting this, were you?
It sounds like some of them people you fired are in the audience. Hey, wait a minute. Those of you booing. Tough road ahead, I sounds like.
It's the Dream Rare Podcast. Welcome to the show. The way to get the news at the desk or on the road. Let's go. God is great and success in our control. The world is crazy, but we get better from obstacles. It's the Dream Rare Podcast. Welcome to the show. The way to get the news at the desk or on the road. Let's go. God is great and success in our control. The world is crazy, but we get better from obstacles. Yeah. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Dream Rare Podcast live stream of the day. We're going to talk about Elon getting booed in San Francisco, new Twitter files that prove that activists at Twitter banned President Trump, even though they knew that he didn't break the rules. Obviously, there were a lot of suspicions, but I think all this being brought to light is great. I have a full clip that I'm going to play later of Kanye or Ye on the podcast saying that he thinks Elon's just a front man for carbon credits, which is something that other people have said. I'm going to play that clip. And then that's what it is. San Francisco, first of all, they're booing him, I guess, because of what he's doing at Twitter. Maybe there were a lot of liberals at the show and they just can't stand, that he's making Twitter transparent. I just find it so funny that there's poop on the streets, there's piss, there's homeless people, there's tents, there's heroin needles everywhere. There's unaffordable prices. The city has literally turned into a giant toilet bowl. It used to be like one of the cleanest cities in the country, just like everything hipster, like Portland and stuff. It starts out Seattle. It starts out good. They have good coffees. They have garlic aioli fries. Everybody's getting along. They have cheap prices. And next thing you know, the whole city turns into a toilet bowl and they're booing Elon Musk as a priority, yet they don't want to clean up their own city. It's just so funny that they get so mad at him on stage with Dave Chappelle. Like, that's such a massive threat to what's going on. The more important story that we need to fact check here. Okay, I'm gonna have my alternate persona come in and fact check it just to mock the demons, the weasels, the liars, the frauds, and the totally corrupt scum that still work at Facebook or YouTube. I think as Twitter tries to make itself slightly better, Facebook and YouTube are probably just going to get worse and gatekeep. And they're like, this is our platform. We can ban whoever we want. And it's like, okay, we get it. This is Elon Musk's tweet, which I've
I wish I could go to court, and I'm not a litigious person, but like, is there any honest court in America? I mean, no lawyers seem to want to represent me. I don't want to sue or anything, but I would love to just go to a court and be like, hey, here's the 5 times they've taken away my monetization on Facebook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can prove that they were wrong every time, but they just don't care. Enough of that. Anyway, Elon said the other day, he also said prosecute Fauci were his pronouns. He said, I strongly disagree. Forcing your pronouns upon others when they didn't ask and implicitly ostracizing those who don't is neither good for or kind to anyone. As for Fauci, he lied to Congress and funded gain-of-function research that killed millions of people. Not awesome, in my opinion. So he's accusing Fauci of killing millions of people. He's going further than most of the GOP, further than Republicans, certainly further than others. I won't name names, but basically saying, I think Fauci killed millions, and who knows what files he's going to release on Twitter about Fauci. But I have to say, this is my alternate persona. I'm going to let him on the show. His name is Gerald Kneebuckle, and he's a Facebook content moderator. So Gerald, will you take it over so I don't get my channel taken down? Well, sure, Anomaly. I'm here at Facebook. We just want to let you know, fact check. We've studied with independent scientists, and everything Elon Musk said is essentially false. I mean, this is just pure propaganda from the right wing swastika, Charlottesville Christchurch shooter. I mean, this is just really bad stuff. I mean, Fauci didn't fact check. I mean, Gerald Kneebuckle, he didn't kill millions of people. He saved millions of people. I mean, our reports say he might have saved 1 billion people. I mean, he might have saved the whole world. And I mean, if you question that, we're just going to say it's anti-Semitic, even though it has nothing to do with Jewish people. But, here at Facebook, we just want to protect the trans kids. We want to protect the LGBT. And I mean, even though this really doesn't have much to do with the LGBT, I know Yoel Roth is suffering because, he was probably working on his new book about, Grindr, because he just loves to write about Grindr all the time, the gay app. But, Jesus, Anomaly. I don't mean to say the Lord's name, but Gerald, come on, this is a Christian platform. Well, I'm sorry, but we just had to fact check that Fauci didn't, kill millions of people. He saved billions of people, and he's the greatest person. All right, Gerald. Jeez, whatever you got to say, bro. Sorry. I don't know what happened. I might have alternate personalities, but we just had to make sure for all of the demons, fact checkers on Facebook and YouTube, that we're just reporting the news here. Fauci just, I think he was in my dream last night where it was like Brad Pitt and Fauci, and I'm looking at the two and I'm like, which one's Brad Pitt? Which one's Fauci? And then it was like, anyway, you got to understand that you're not even allowed to talk about gain of function research on here because it's so real. It's so not true that they just have to cover it up all the time and change definitions and act like it didn't happen and just keep funding Eco Health Alliance because it just couldn't be possible. It couldn't be possible that Big Pharma's corrupt. It's not possible. Besides the fact that they've always been corrupt. They've got caught lying to doctors, lying overseas, lying about this, lying about that, multi-billion-dollar funds. Pfizer gets to tweet all this stuff. Oh, Pfizer's, this is our meme department. Yeah, you're so tough, Pfizer, because you hide behind the PrEP Act. You have no liability for side effects, injuries, and deaths in an emergency, which just, who declared the emergency? I'm trying to think because there is no conspiracy there. Who was the one who declared the emergency in America in the Trump administration? Who has that power? Oh, it's the HHS secretary. Who's the HHS secretary under Trump? Oh, Alex Azar. What did Alex Azar do before he got into government? Oh, did he work at Eli Lilly? Was he a pharmacy executive? No collusion. Wait, it's not about money though, guys. It's not about money. Except for the fact that Moderna is being strong-armed in court by the government because the government believes it owns part of the Moderna patent. And it's not about money. That's why the government wants the money from Moderna. And it's certainly not about money. That's why Moderna is suing Pfizer, because Moderna's had these patents in the early 2010s. But it's just about your health. That's why kids are getting fatter. That's why they close down elective surgeries at hospital, because in order to save your health, you just need to get fatter and suck down pills and high fructose corn syrup and canola oil, and then just line up for the big pharma injection. That's totally not about money. That's why Moderna is suing Pfizer. So I'm sorry about that little, side note. We had to get my friend at the Facebook safety team, Gerald Kneebuckle, to really lay it down flat, because you have to understand Gerald Kneebuckle at Facebook is very he's very qualified to talk about this stuff because he's written thousands of papers on Grindr and gay applications with Yoel Roth. So, Gerald Kneebuckle is definitely qualified. I mean, what qualifies you more to take high-level positions to censor the president than writing, op-eds about Grindr all the time? Anyway, Elon Musk is going harder at Fauci than most of the GOP. What's going on? Not sure, but I'll take it. With that being said, I do want to talk about the Trump story, and then I want to play Kanye saying that, or Ye, the man formerly known as Kanye, saying that he thinks Elon's just a front man for carbon credits. Well, before we get into that, he is doing a good job with transparency on Twitter. He's revealed a few things, including one of them that he has the evidence, so he says, and has showed through Barry Weiss, that they knew that they were censoring Trump for reasons that went against the guidelines, but they were trying to play these straw mans of like, well, he's kind of like swastika and, Christchurch, and they're just bringing up all these like events to then tie to Trump and use the biggest reach, just like they do all the time, to kick him off of Twitter. And it's pretty awesome that Elon released that. I mean, he didn't have to do that. And I mean, we'll see what happens, but him going at Fauci, etc., not a bad thing in my perspective. Let me play this clip real quick of Ye saying what he thinks about Elon and getting kicked off of Twitter. He's still salty that Elon kicked him off of Twitter. Here's his thoughts about how he thinks that Elon is just a Silicon Valley frontman who is there to do carbon credits on the world, and how he got a lot of his money through the government, which a lot of conservatives bring up also. Let's take a listen.
I wanted to talk about this Elon situation. Okay, so Elon is the front man for carbon credits. Tesla wouldn't have been profitable without carbon credits. It's not about rockets, not about Mars. It's not about Tesla. There's a new front man for Silicon Valley, and it's Elon. And I love not having to be nobody halfway friend. People love that. It's like, man, Ye's friends with Elon. But if he was really my friend and he's fighting for free speech, how could you block me on Twitter for trying to bring the swastika and the Star of David together? That's real. That's my view of, hey, I said love speech. Like I said, I love Arya, man. I love Elon. I love China.
What room you in?
Yeah.
We're not in no room. Elon, wait, hold on, Ye.
So So Ye said, he's just a front man for Silicon Valley doing carbon credits, and that's what it's really about. Let me know what you think in the comment section. I'm going to read a few and then just say something real quick. Those are the stories of the day. San Francisco booed Elon Musk because apparently they like their streets filled with poop and pee and heroin needles and homeless, and they like to pay $5,000 for an apartment, and they don't even feel safe to walk outside. That's what they like there. That's their culture in San Francisco. If there's a piece of poop on the ground in San Francisco, you don't pick the poop up, okay? Because the poop has more rights than you do. It's like someone jumping over the border. The poop has more rights than you do in this country. But make sure if you see a pile of dookie on the streets of San Francisco, make sure there's a rainbow flag stuck in it. If there's not, you can go to the mayor and he'll give you some rainbow flags. You could stick them, and then make sure you stick one. You want to have two things stuck in the doo-doo, okay? You want a rainbow flag in one side of the doo-doo sticking out to make sure everybody knows that poop should be able to vote, and it also has, LGBTQ rights plus AAAARXYZ. There's a few letters that have been added because Justin Trudeau is a transgender non-binary, so they had to add a few more letters for Justin Trudeau's up north. So we got to respect the new letters at the thing because Justin Trudeau woke up and was like, yo, that doesn't apply to me. I'm a androgynous witch. And I'm like, fair, let's add some more letters. And then you want to stick an LGBT flag in the dookie, and then you want to stick a heroin needle in the dookie just in case a crackhead comes through and doesn't know where a heroin needle, it'll be right next to the LGBT flag in the dookie. So we got to understand that San Francisco booed Elon for a reason. Elon's bad to them because he's, getting rid of child exploitation. He's doing a better job of transparency. He's still banning people, though. Bryson Gray banned, Ye banned, Owen Benjamin still banned. Patriot J got banned for saying the N-word. As Jesse Lee Peterson would say, he black, so he thought he could say it. I guess not. But it is still better, than it was, I think, with the transparency stuff. But San Francisco does not like when somebody wants to clean up their poopy city. They want to live like a toilet bowl, and you got to respect that. So they booed him, rightfully so. He's not pooping enough on the streets. If you want them to love you, poop on the streets and dress up in like, open BDSM and run around the streets with a rainbow flag sticking out of your Neuralink, and then they'll like you. But definitely do not challenge that. Some people think, this is just a theory I saw, that Elon turned the switch on woke culture. Some people obviously think it's a trick or a trap, or Elon's controlled app and he's just playing into people, which could be true. But a lot of people think that it's because he lost his son or daughter. I don't even know, because the reporting's so crazy in this country. I can't tell which one it used to be or whatever. But he had a kid with some left-wing chick, and the kid decided to like transgender at 18. So I don't know if it was a guy turning into a girl or a girl turning into a guy. But Elon apparently didn't like that. He said that neo-Marxists took control of his kids. And some people think that's what lit a switch. And even with Elon, unless he's literally a robot, I don't think so. Humans are humans, even ones that are, part of the system. So maybe that's what happened as a father. He just kind of turned the switch on left-wing culture when they pretty much tried to change the gender of his young kid. Maybe that's what really ticked him off. I don't know. Just a theory I'm throwing out there. I have no idea. With that being said, releasing more info on what they did to Trump, I think that's good. Releasing a lot of pressure on Fauci, which I appreciate. And I have to say, this is just, and people are going to get mad at me saying this, but I have to be honest. In April and May of 2020, there were not a lot of anybody, liberals or conservative, but especially conservatives and intellectuals and all these like intellectual dark web types like, bucko, clean your room, bucko. They were nowhere to be found when the world needed them the most. Humanity needed them. The world needed them. Where are our leaders? Where are our conservatives? Where are our buckos? Clean your room, buckos. Where are all these Sam Harris types and whatever? Where are they? And nobody was really there for the people. I mean, a lot of the smartest and best leaders flopped like a fish when humanity needed them the most during COVID lockdowns. And I have to say, Elon Musk, whether people like it or not, did a better job, in my view, than Charlie Kirk, Ben Shapiro, Donald Trump. Prager did okay. He was definitely pushing back early on. I got to give him credit for that, of the lockdowns. But in general, Elon, if you listen to his Joe Rogan interview, if you go back to his May 2020 Joe Rogan interview, he was speaking the truth about the data, how they were fudging it, how they were coming up with the numbers, how they were testing the cases, the deaths. He was the only one, or one of the only ones, speaking about it. He even retweeted me at one point when I showed the health official from Illinois, where she was explaining how they were counting the deaths. They were like, if you have COVID and you die, we put it as COVID, even if we know it's not. That's just how we count in America. I shared that on Twitter. He somehow found it, retweeted it. So I just got to give the guy credit. He did do more for the country, in my view, during COVID than anyone in the GOP, including Trump. I'm not saying he's perfect. I'm not saying he didn't sell the product. I'm just saying in May, when nobody was speaking the truth about the data, he went on Joe Rogan and spoke the more truth than anybody. So I always appreciated him because of that, because, words are words, actions are actions, and that was important. And now, he's pushing harder against Fauci than the entire GOP is. In fact, a lot of people won't like this, but Trump, in my view, is kind of covering up for Fauci. When he was asked in an interview with Sky News, I believe, about gain-of-function research, Trump immediately changed the topic and said, oh, no, I think we did a great job with the vaccine. He's working with Fauci. So, I'm not saying Trump's all bad and Elon's all good, or you should trust Ron DeSantis. But what I'm saying is Ron DeSantis is pulling his weight now. Elon's pulling his weight in this department, and Donald Trump is covering up Wuhan stuff. In my view, I don't think he's interested in getting to the bottom of it. He just wants to sell the products that he thinks are so great and everybody knows aren't that great as he says they are. So you got to, with Elon, I do consider him a wild card, kind of like I consider Trump a wild card, and kind of like I consider Ye a wild card. When you get that rich and when you get that powerful and when you get that influential, everybody's going to have an opinion about you. Everybody's going to say you're amazing, or they're going to say you're controlled opposition. Whether you're Ye, Trump, or Elon. What is the truth? I have no idea. I have my opinions about putting a computer chip in my head. I have an opinion about Operation Warp Speed. I have an opinion about Balenciaga. I have my own views, but at the end of the day, in my view, only God knows really who these people truly are. Whether maybe their ego gets the best of them, maybe it's a show, maybe it's a whole like game show reality thing that we're playing into. I have no idea, but I consider all three of them a wild card, and as much as Elon doesn't do for me, I mean, I think he's done a lot when it came to COVID. And there's a lot of people that'll say a lot of stuff about Elon now that weren't there in May of 2020 fighting for the country like he was. So I don't know. We'll see where it goes. I can't say I fully trust anybody, but I do appreciate him going harder at Fauci than the GOP. And Elon's got the money and the power and the now social media platform to actually make a difference. So whether he is who he says he is or not, or, he's this or that, if he can hold Big Pharma accountable, if he can get to the bottom of what really happened, hey, I'll take it. That's a win. Appreciate you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'll read a few. And I just wanted to say something about questioning history, because I've talked about this for years. This isn't new. I went on some left-wingers' Twitter, and I saw somebody post this. Okay, I'm just going to hold it up. They posted this, and it says, "One day the red MAGA hat will be viewed about the same way we view the Confederate flag and the swastika." So this is a left-winger's perspective. They say there's no difference between a swastika, a Confederate flag, and a MAGA hat. That's how they're going to view it in history. I mean, if you want me to question history more, that's exactly how you do it. You keep lying and exaggerating like that, because they did the same thing on Twitter to justify kicking off Trump. They tried to compare him to Hitler in order to justify kicking him off the platform. So you call Trump Hitler when Trump is like the most Jewishy, pro-Israel president we've ever had. You say that the MAGA hat is a swastika and a Confederate flag when everyone knows it's not. You're not convincing me that you're right. You're just convincing me to ask more questions about history. Sorry. I asked a question on my Twitter today because honestly, I don't have this huge ego of history. I said, was Abraham Lincoln really the man they said he was? When I grew up, I always loved Abraham Lincoln. He was my favorite president, right? Because everything I read, Honest Abe. He was such an honest guy that he walked 100 miles to give somebody a couple pennies, or that's the old tale about Abe Lincoln. So I guess that spoke a lot to me. I always liked his honesty. So I was like, oh, Honest Abe is my favorite president. Now I don't even know was Abraham Lincoln really a good guy or was he really bad? I could read you some of the results on my Twitter, but a lot of people seem to think that he wasn't who history said he was, that Abraham Lincoln didn't care about ending slavery, that they claim that, once again, all this is word of mouth. I can't go back 200 years or 100 years and know what happened, probably 200. They said that Abraham Lincoln was quoted saying if he could have fought the war and not ended slavery, he would have done that. There's Ron Paul has always said that he fought it over like banking and stuff, or not over slavery. So I don't know. I think the winners and the victors write the books, and when they get the books, oh, I'm so honest. I walked 1,000 miles. I walked 1,000 miles to give someone a penny. Did you? Or were you a scumbag? I have no idea. All I'm saying is when I see right winger or left wingers say that one day the red hat will be viewed as the same as the Confederate flag and the swastika, that's quite the overstatement. I don't think, and honestly, Trump was pretty like chill. I've listened to a lot of people, comedians, documentaries, alternate perspectives, whatever. Trump is very he's definitely outspoken and loose, but he's really not that crazy. He really isn't. He really wasn't that wild. Like all his controversial stuff wasn't even that crazy. Like a border wall. Now you guys are going to lie and act like a border wall is that crazy. Whether you agree with it or not, really, that's your controversy, whether to build a wall on our border. I don't know. And then here's the thing. It's like there's certain things in history that you just can't question. And the people gatekeeping those narratives are, unfortunately, not all, but some, are the ones who are constantly exaggerating the most and lying the most. So it's like people who exaggerate and lie want to act like it should be illegal to question history when in the present moment you're writing op-eds in front of my face that's dishonest. I mean, I could lie for the camera and be like, oh yeah, I believe everything you say, but I actually don't. And this isn't exclusive to you or you or you. It's just, this is how I view the world. You know, I question a lot of things about history because everything in the present moment, all of the culture, all of the media, all of the sports leagues, all of the education system, they're all trying to put me down the path that's worse for me, worse for my health, worse for my mental state, worse for my physical state. They don't, I mean, even in the medical department, that's a simple one. How often do they talk about working out and exercising and mental health when they're locking if I'm a leader and I'm leading the country and for God knows what reason, I have to lock people down for a month or a week, you best believe I'm going to be on television every day saying, hey, we're all in this together. Not like this fake, go get your pharma stuff. We're all in it together. I would be like, let's all do 100 push-ups. You know what I'm saying? Let's do some push-ups right now. You know what I'm saying? Like this is real leadership. We're going to be locked inside, but we got to get jacked, folks. You know what I'm saying? We got to get jacked. We all gotta do some burpees. You know, that's leadership. Not like, oh, here's some Corona commercials. Here's some McDonald's commercials. Just sit there and get fat and wait for our pharmacy shots. Sorry. And these are the people that think I shouldn't question history. You guys are lying about everything. Everything. And it's funny when now it's like Ye and Elon and Trump in their own way, they really have shattered the third rail where now the truth just reveals itself. Sometimes, oh, Trump went too far. Maybe he needed to go that far. Oh, Ye went too far. They're going too far. No, you're not going far enough. And I noticed something now. It's like the people that give me pushback, they expose themselves. For example, this is just on my mind because it happened today. You know, I posted a video. Excuse me, I'm a little out of breath after my push-ups. I posted a video on my Instagram of myself, William Cooper, and Ye. Of course, yeah, I put myself in that situation. I'm like William Cooper on one side, Ye on one side. But we were talking about the sports leagues. You know, Ye was talking about what sports leagues are doing. William Cooper has this epic rant from like 40 years ago where he talks about the Roman circus, and Bill Cooper said, you know, why did they pay Dan Rather? And it's funny, he mentioned Dan Rather. Why did they pay Dan Rather $2 million? Because he'll never question the agenda. If you look at Dan Rather's Twitter account, he acts like the biggest op in recent history. He's always with the mainstream and he's the trusted old guy. It's funny that Bill Cooper called him out because I've never seen him the same way. But anyway, you know, I made this video, and the point of the video was I'm not telling people to believe everything Bill Cooper ever said and like never question him or Ye or me. I'm just putting out 3 nice little clips of things that Ye said, I said, Bill Cooper said that I think makes a cohesive argument. I put it out. Anyway, not to let one rotten banana ruin the bunch. I don't know if that even makes sense, but I'm just trying to use an analogy. Most people like the video, but this one lady writes in the comment section, she said, how dare, and this just stuck out to me because I saw it real quick. She said, how dare you? Why are you posting Kanye? You know, why would you ever post his voice again? Do you like Hitler? And I'm like, are you trying to tell me that I need to blacklist Ye for all of history? Like, I can't ever post a clip that he said. If he says something great, I'm not allowed to share it. Like, he's gone forever now because he said something on an Alex Jones podcast. She's basically trying to pressure me into blacklisting him forever and never letting his voice, even if he says something reasonable, because of what he said. And then she's accusing me of believing everything he's ever said and like Hitler stuff. And I thought it was like very disingenuous and whack. So anyway, I just click on her profile. She says, I'm going to unfollow you on Instagram. Whatever. I don't care. There's a reason I'm telling this story. I'm not this petty. So I click on her Instagram because I'm just curious, like, why, like, who is this lady? So she has in her profile, it says she lives in New York City. And then it also says she has one flag in her bio, one flag of a nation. So she lives in America, but the flag that she had in her bio was not the United States of America. Can you guess which one it is? Not Ukraine, unfortunately. It was Israel. So I'm like, one, you're accusing me of things that are true. Two, you live in America and you have a flag of a foreign nation in your bio and basically trying to get me to blacklist and go against First Amendment principles of somebody that I slightly agree with on this topic. And then they're passing speech laws in America that say you're not allowed to say any person of this origin has loyalty to the country that they obviously have loyalty to. The reason they're passing those speech laws is because it's true. Not with everybody, of course, but with a lot of people, for sure. So it's like people are exposing themselves, trying to expose me and Ye and everyone. You're exposing yourself. I don't have another flag in my bio. If I did, I'd move there. Just like during Ukraine, I loved the fact that Ukraine was allowing U.S. people to fight in their war. It's people would be like, normally I disagree with your Ukraine take. You don't get it. They're so strong. Oh, I agree. Go fight there. Go over there. I have a friend who's actually from Ukraine. He gets to like Ukraine. That's his country. He knows it. Like, I don't mind that he supports Ukraine. He's from Ukraine. But as far as people in America that are like, oh, we got to go fight this war. You literally can fight this war. You know what I'm saying? You're allowed to fight this war. They want you there. So if you act like you support the war in Ukraine and you're sitting in America, go over there and fight the war. Like, this is your opportunity. It's not like you can't. You absolutely can. They're crowdfunding this war like it's a GoFundMe. Go there. Oh, no, I don't want to go there. I just want to complain about your Instagram takes. Then I don't care. Gina gave a $200 super chat. Thank you so much, Gina. That was super sweet. Gina said, love your truth. Keep speaking it. There aren't many like you. You're a brave man. Thank you so much, Gina. I appreciate it. God bless you. And Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you, Gina, and no one else. I'm going to say happy holidays to everybody else. That annoys some Christians, but it's like, you never know. We got Muslims, Jews here. We say happy holidays, but to Gina, we say Merry Christmas only. So if you want a direct Merry Christmas from me, you have to pay me off. You got to give me $200 or else it's like, whatever, happy holidays, just get out of my face. But to Gina, it's like, thank you. I remember one time too, I worked at like a pharmacy. I wasn't like a pharmacist. I was like a CVS type place. I was just like a shelf stocker and like a cashier. And when I worked there, one time I remember this Jewish lady came in and she was super mad that, there was only like a small section. There was a huge Christmas aisle and there was only like a little Jewish section. She's like, she got so mad at me and she walked out. And I remember at that time thinking in my head, I'm like, I told her, I was like, listen, it's not because we value you less here at our company. There's just statistically less people that buy this stuff. So we have to carry less because there's more people who celebrate Christmas here than Hanukkah. Like, it's not a knock at you. That's just like the stats of the sales. And she did not want to hear that. She like stormed out. It was pretty funny. But I was like, it's not, I guess it would be like being like transgender and going to like Kohl's or something. Like, why don't you have as many transgender underwear as you have male underwear? It's like, well, statistically, there's just less sales of that. So we're not going to carry 50% of that just to make you feel better. It's like, it doesn't unfortunately work that way in sales. We can't just like build an entire section just to make you feel comfortable. Like, it's more about just making money, but I get it. Someone said, is South Park anti-Semitic? South Park does a really good job, I think. I mean, keep in mind, though, South Park has been accused of everything under the sun. Racist, sexist, anti-Semitic, I'm sure. Too far, to this. They've had lawsuits. They've kind of been called everything. So it's not like they're off the hook. They've been sued probably hundreds of times. It's just, they keep going. And I think South Park are equal opportunity haters in a way. They make fun of everybody. So I don't think anybody thinks that they just focus on that. They pretty much just like try to crap on everybody. And I think in this world, like, obviously people are going to crack down on you on social media, but I do think, you kind of get what you put out. Even Ye said, he said on his Drink Champs interview, he got drunk and he said it in a way he maybe shouldn't have. He even started taking accountability for that, where sometimes it's not what you say, but it's how you say it. And if if you want the smoke, as they say, you're going to get it. So I think how you say it, your intentions, your energy when you say stuff, if it's really funny, you're always going to have critics. You're always going to have people think you're taking it too far. But I think in this world, like if you put out great content, if you're really funny, if you're really honest, you'll gain an audience. It doesn't matter if you tick off the LGBT community sometimes. Like it doesn't, Chappelle still finds a way to sell out things in San Francisco, even though he's ticked off communities because he knows how to do it. So, and there's other examples. South Park's a lot of things, but I don't think they really care. And in general, I don't think anybody should care. I think you should care about what's right. If you really made a mistake, apologize, but don't just apologize because everyone wants you to. I don't know. I can only speak for myself, but I don't really have a problem saying what I'm saying because I know the world is not the internet. Every activist that's screeching in your face from this group and that group, they don't represent all the people of that group. They'll pretend like they do. They'll hide behind that group. They'll use that group. Sometimes they are that group, but everyone doesn't agree with them. It's not like the loudest screeching activists are not. Most people that are normal and not psychotically annoying and writing grinder op-eds for Twitter or whatever, most people like that are too busy actually providing value to society to weigh in on these conversations. Like, I think in the Jewish community, probably the coolest Jews are the ones that aren't complaining because they're doing something more important. You know what I'm saying? There's probably millions of Jews doing something more important than crying on Twitter. The Hasidics made a really funny yay response. I thought that was really funny how they were saying he was really Jewish and he had So I think the loudest people on social media are always going to be the ones who have way too much time on their hands, including me. I have way too much time on my hands, but I also work. So it is my job. So even though I waste too much time, I can justify it because I make money and I do what I want to do. But the people on social media are for sure, I have a Jewish friend that works in like at a trucking company, two of them actually. They use social media. They're not like aliens, but they don't talk as much as activist groups because they're busy actually doing something. They actually provide value to the world and they don't have time to like cry about podcasts. In fact, they think they're funny. So that's why I don't, and this is my view too, is whether it's this group or that group, they want you to get hateful. They want you to start thinking certain things because when you do, then you provide more victim cards. There's people who've said that Al Sharpton wouldn't have a job if there weren't tragedy. When there's a tragedy, he pops up. And you have to ask yourself, Al Sharpton, I don't know his true intentions, but at what point does he really care about the tragedy? And at what point does he need the tragedy to exist and he doesn't care about solving it because that's his lane? There's a lot of groups like that as well and a lot of other people like that. So sometimes they want you to like do something or say something so then they have something to react to. So if you never give them that, they don't really have power. I think it's a trap to get hateful. And I say it all the time. It's a trap to get hateful against the left. Let's not just talk about like black or Jewish or, what's like trendy now, LGBT. Let's talk about the left. There's a lot of right-wing influencers that are hateful of the left. They hate left-wing college students. I feel bad for left-wing college students. I feel bad for younger people because they haven't had time to even grow. If you're like 45 and you're like a progressive liberal, but you're not even like a based one that believes in anti-war, I feel a lot less bad for you. Sorry. I still have compassion and empathy, but I feel way worse for the 19-year-old college campus girl who just doesn't know this stuff. So how am I going to sit on Instagram and just crap on them all the time? I make fun of people that are older. Usually I try to, I stay away from the youngins. I at least try to like, not just like, oh, you suck. So even right-wing hating the left is a trap. Left-wing hating the right's a trap. You don't have to like them. You don't have to agree with them. Call it out. But it's almost like both sides fuel off of like the sheer hate. Like you dehumanize them where you're like, you don't even, I don't know. I think it's all a trap. Like then you live in that world. Now they control you based on the false dichotomy. Now you're in this arena of this versus that, but you're never even getting to the top. Let me give you an angle real quick of where the right wing always falls short. And I don't say this stuff to be edgy or trendy. Some people probably think I'm annoying because like, oh, Anomaly always just disagrees to disagree. I really don't. I just don't like nonsense, and I don't care where it comes from. So the merchant of death or the war guy from Russia who got out with the Brittany Griner, did you notice I didn't really say much when it came out because I wanted to process and think about it before I just scream at Biden, although Biden does suck, and I think it was a bad trade. But in general, he should have got out the other military guy, Paul Whelan, for sure. But in general, okay, who is this Russian merchant of death? If you go to my Twitter, there's an interview of his that I probably can't play on regular social media because it's from RT, where he actually sounds like he likes America more than Brittany Griner. I'm not saying that makes him a good person. It's just like, it sucks that America's so stupid now that like every Russian just seems more smart. I've even met Russian chicks like years ago where they always just seem like American chicks. I'm not saying all, now there's going to be women here who are offended who are smart. I'm just saying like, it seems like their culture's no nonsense. They're stronger. They're more logical for whatever reason. I'm not proud of that. I'm an American. We need to step our game up. But in general, listen to the interview of that guy. It's like, dang, he's not who I thought he was. Also, here's an angle you'll never hear on conservative media. Apparently, according to Michael Tracy and others, he's done weapons deals with America. America is the McDonald's and the NBA of weapons deals. So if this guy really is a big bad weapons guy, it's no surprise he's done deals with America, the weapons McDonald's, you know? So that's a more interesting story. The fact that he was working with America at one point, nobody wants to talk about that. And here's another interesting part is, you know, according to military.com, one of the most damaging spies in American history, who did the most damage to America, was Jonathan Pollard out of Israel. He was in prison for a long time, and before Trump got out of office, he didn't pardon Edward Snowden or Ross Ulbricht or Julian Assange. Trump pardoned this Israeli spy who sabotaged America, and he went for Israel, and he mentioned he did that, and he went back there, kissed the ground, and now he's a hero for having sabotaged America, our greatest ally. And here's my point. It's like, I'm just asking for equal treatment. Did any conservative care when Jonathan Pollard got kicked out, taken out of prison? I think maybe Nuance Bro is the only one who actually really cared, and a few others. So it's like, you got this guy who did deals with America. Also, when it comes to Paul Whelan and what's it called? Yeah, the Paul Whelan one, people are saying that Biden should have got him out, which is probably true in that deal. But that guy got arrested in 2018 and he was convicted in 2020. Trump had almost a full year, about 8 months to get him out. If Trump really cared about getting out that guy from Russia and doing a deal, he could have done it before he got out of office. But instead, he pardoned an Israeli spy. The reason I say this is not to be contrarian or edgy. It's just like, I don't listen to conservative media because most conservative media is stupid. They're stupid. They're fake. They're grifters. All they do is make a scene. They cry. They sell merch. And then they move on to the next topic. I'm not saying I don't make a living and try to sell stuff too. I'm just saying I'm not intellectually interested in 99% of conservatives because they're fake and dumb and basic. You know what I'm saying? It would be like asking me if I wanted to eat a filet mignon for my brain or asking me if I wanted to eat like Dookie off the side of the street. Most of these influencers are Dookie to me. Like, you know, interesting Dookie, I guess funny Dookie that agrees with me and votes like me, but I don't, that's why I'm not stupid, is because I don't listen to these people. Every take they have is dumb and bad. Just because they're right-wing doesn't make it good. Oh, they're right-wing NPCs. They're the same thing the left-wing is to the right-wing. They don't have a brain. They don't have critical thinking skills. All they do is suck up donor money. All they do is exist just to conserve their own power. They're the same version of the left-wing person they hate on the right. And that's why they fight with each other all the time. They just hate themselves in the mirror. The reason I'm not fighting with these people is because I'm in a whole different arena. I'm not playing in this left-wing, right-wing. Oh, should we go fight Antifa and the Proud Boys? You think the bankers care if you guys fight in the streets? No one cares. Neither of these, you're only like making it easy for them, in my view. So, you know, I just see this with every topic. I don't do it to be edgy. I'm just like, you guys make a big stink when it's like Biden, Biden, Biden. But if your guy does something even worse than that, you won't even talk about it because you wanted dinner at Mar-a-Lago. This is part of the issue. Let me know what you think. I'm going to read a few comments. And someone said, I just want a true right-wing party. Well, the way to get there would be challenging, not just challenging McCarthy and McConnell, but challenging Trump. And I'll tell you what, I think DeSantis and Elon, although they're not like your best friend, they're challenging Trump, and Trump's not keeping up. Elon's doing more than Trump. I understand that Trump doesn't have the power right now, but still, he's not really done that much. And also, Ron DeSantis apparently is getting primed to go after vaccine manufacturers and give a platform to vaccine injured people. DeSantis is going full in on this topic, and Trump doesn't want to touch it. I know people around Trump. Trump's telling everybody, just shut up about it. He doesn't want to hear that what most of his base understands. He's like, be quiet. I'm the vaccine guy. I sold it. It's great. And if you want to hang out around me, you have to just play stupid. This is the game Trump's playing. So all these influencers around Trump that you see, all your favorite, they're playing stupid just to keep their power position. They're the new Marco Rubios. They're the new Mitch McConnell. They just sell merch and act stupid on airplanes. Like, they're the same people. This is what Trump's telling people. I did it. I'm the vaccine man. It's great. I saved the world. I saved your life. You got vaccinated. That's my narrative. And anybody who tries to tell me no, whether it's Candace Owens, Alex Jones, any of these people who try to tell me otherwise, get out of my face. I'm Trump. Get on my knee. And your favorite influencers like, yeah, I'm so right wing. Yeah, Brittany Griner, what the heck? But I don't care when you pardon spies from a foreign country. They're professional bootlickers. The reason I know so much is because I don't waste time listening to these halfwits. Anyway, on a positive note, my coffee is pretty good this morning. It's a little cold, but it is what it is. Someone said, make this portion into a reel. I'm banned from TikTok. I'm demonetized on Instagram, even though they don't pay much. TikTok stole $800 from me. I don't want to go to small claims court over this. I don't really care, but I had $800 sitting in my TikTok bank account, and they just cleared off my whole thing for no reason. Didn't even give me, which video was it? TikTok? Oh, China wants to play this game. Hey, God bless you guys. God bless the Chinese. We love your people. But stop playing with me, CCP. Why'd you delete my TikTok? You want a bunch of American kids doing a bunch of degenerate stuff, but I can't tell the truth? CCP? Don't make me go yay. Anyway, 800's over $200 over the IRS. Yeah, they just stole the money, though. It's like they didn't even give it to me. Is anyone being sued for interviewing Ye? I hear they're threatening people not to do it anymore. Here's what I'll say. I don't know if anyone's being sued, but absolutely the conservative establishment. And when I say conservative establishment, I'm not talking about Mitch McConnell. I'm talking about the conservative media groups that pretend not to be establishment. They're establishment too, as far as I'm concerned. There's huge pressure right now. If you interview Ye at this point, you're in big trouble with any of the major right-wing things because they want to blacklist them. But here's why I don't care. Multiple reasons. They've already done this to me for 3 years. 3 years now. And I'm not bragging. I'm just being objective, but it's going to come off as a brag. Everybody knows that I'm better at the news analysis than any of the people they hired. They'll hire any trendy person that has one video that gets like 50,000 views. They're like, oh, we got to hire this person. Everybody, they don't want to hire me because I speak the truth about this stuff. They've blacklisted me for 4 years now. They're trying so hard to act like I don't exist. I don't need their attention or anything. It's just, I want the conservative people and the American people to know the truth. I don't want to get locked down again. I don't want a president who works for Pfizer and Eli Lilly. I don't want to grow up in a country that has poop all over the streets. So I don't really care. But the point I'm getting to is, yeah, they're probably blacklisting anybody who interviews Ye, but Ye is just exposing what they've been doing for 4 years. They've been doing this. It's just Ye took it so far and he did it publicly. So now everybody's talking it out loud. For years, the Shapiros of the world and the Pragers of the world and a lot of the TPUSA types of the world, not all of them, but some of them, there's been a game of like, you don't get this position if you criticize the people that pay us. You can't get here. You're not allowed to get here. You're not allowed to be spoken about. And what they would do before Ye made a huge scene is they would do it behind closed doors. It's like, I'm not infiltrating these organizations or anything. I'm just saying I'm popular enough where people know the truth. People at all of these major organizations, they all like me more than the message that the organizations are pushing out. So I got people at every organization that'll tell me the truth about what they're doing. And I've heard for years now that people at these organizations have said, Anomaly, they've blacklisted you. They said you're too far right. You got retweeted by Nick Fuentes. And it's like, they're going to blacklist me because I got retweeted by a guy I've never even talked to. That's the right wing. I've known these people are phony. So I'm glad Ye did what he did personally, because he did it so crazily and openly that now it can't be ignored. And now they're all trying to talk about it publicly, but they've been doing this for way, way less than he did. So someone said too far right. I'm not too far right, but you have to understand most conservative media outlets are just like Israeli outlets. Oh, you can't say that. Yeah, because it's true. They serve Israel. They don't serve America. So if you notice that they do that and they don't believe in the First Amendment like me, I love Jewish people. I love Muslim people. I love Christian people. I love the people of Israel and I love the people of America. But I believe in the Constitution, so my love doesn't come from speech laws. When I love the people of Israel or I love the people of America, my love doesn't come from censoring them. I don't think that's love. I think that's sucking up donor money and lying to people, which is what pretty much all right-wing groups are doing. So once you realize that they're doing that, sucking up donor money and selling out the Constitution, and you say, damn, I thought we believed in the First Amendment, they say, oh, you're too far right. You're anti-Semitic. They've been doing this for 4 years. Of course I'm not too far right. Because I'm not dressed up like I don't dress up as a woman like Steven Crowder or something. I'm too far right. And I'm not trying to make fun of him. I get he does comedy. I'm just saying, like, what do you mean? Like, what did I do? I know what I did. I questioned their allegiance to how they're selling America out. And a lot of people don't even care because it's been pretty much indoctrinated in people that, you know, that country can't be questioned, can't be talked. If they're untouchable, why was a spy sitting in prison for 30 years? Because you're not allowed to spy on America, whether you're Canada, Saudi Arabia, or Israel. It doesn't matter if you're one of our allies. You're not supposed to spy on our country and sell our secrets. But that's what Jonathan Pollard did, and he was sitting in prison. What? Like, there's so many, the Republican Party's so sold out to Israel, they don't even care if you spy on America. They're like, whatever, who cares? We're the same country anyway. We're not, but whatever. But Trump let him out of prison. I'm not trying to overdo it. I'm just letting people know they've been blacklisting me behind the scenes for 4 years and saying I'm too far right because I believe in the First Amendment and they believe in Zionism over American constitutionalism. That's just true. And they work for a foreign country as far as I'm concerned, because if you pass a speech law for a foreign country, you are controlled by them. That's how if you pass a speech law in America that says you can't question Canada, I'm going to assume Canada controls you. Why else would you do that? If you pass a speech law that said you can't question Mexico, I'm going to assume you work for Mexico over America because the Constitution doesn't say that. That's shifting the sands of how American constitutionalism works for a foreign country. So I don't care whether it's Saudi Arabia, China, Israel, Japan. You know, I don't have hate for these countries. I just think the First Amendment's better than speech laws. And I think speech laws actually raises hate, which it does, just like the Streisand effects of the Kyrie documentary. Everything they do backfires. I'm actually lowering anti-Semitism. They're raising it all over the world because they're just like hysterical liars about everything. And I'm not even talking about Jewish people. I'm talking about even Christian right-wingers. Everything's like, shut it up, shut up, shut up. They're not helping. The Streisand effect is real. Kyrie trying to censor that documentary made it 20,000 times more famous. You're not helping. I'm trying to help. I'm trying to lower hate. You guys keep screwing the pooch. But because I've done that, that's why they've blacklisted me, because I know who they're working for, because they prove it. If you believe in free speech, but only for one, you don't believe in it. It's obvious. Someone said, get over it. I'm over it. But until people realize this, they're always going to fall short with their Republican Party. Just like, I'm going to read this super chat in a second. Just like Trump said he'd never take money from like special interests, I'm working for the people. He took $1 million from Pfizer and turned into a big pharma shill and hired pharmacy lobbyists. I'm not saying Trump's the worst person in the world, but nobody wants to call him out for it. So as far as I'm concerned, our party's fake. It's a fake party. We have a fake leader and everybody's too fake to even talk about it. if you're not taking money from groups, but then you do take money from groups and put in their top man to shut down the country, you're not the real deal. And it's more annoying, not that Trump took the money and did that. It's more annoying that all these right-wing shilly influencers don't want to call him out on it. So the party's fake as far as I'm concerned. And I'm not over it. Someone said, anomaly, appreciate you. As always, Cooper stated in the book of Revelation that the ultimate playbook is to neutralize the opposition. Noah Harari and Elon are both part of the World Economic Forum. America have sold themselves out. I hear you. I mean, the theory of controlled opposition, I'm sure Bill Cooper talked about it a lot. He's made a lot of good points, including about bin Laden. He was saying, how in the world can like CNN and news sources do interviews with bin Laden, but our intelligence communities can't find him? I thought that chat was interesting. But yeah, I mean, it's like if you own the casino, you own every machine in it. You're making more money if you own the casino. Oh, I won $10,000. Yeah, well, the person who owns the casino won the real money. You're going to lose that back if you keep playing. So, this idea, if you have money and power, you would lobby both sides of politics. And Big Pharma lobbies both sides of politics. The military-industrial complex lobbies both sides of politics. Israel lobbies both sides of politics. I'm sure China tries to lobby both sides of politics directly or indirectly. So this is like, the problem is everybody's so brainwashed into blue or red or Trump or anti-Trump that they think that they're above it. Oh, well, we're different because we hate Trump. You're not different, but we're different because we like Trump. You're also really not that different. Everybody gets fooled into thinking it's going to be different. They've done this for 30 years now, at least. And I've fallen for it. I'm not going to say I haven't fell for every trap. I didn't fall for George Bush, but a lot of Republicans did. I didn't fall for Obama, but a lot of people did. I did fall for Trump for a little, and I still think that he has potential. I don't know, like, if it's his ego or whatever, but it's like they always want to make you believe that, well, Obama's going to be different. Well, Trump's going to be different. Well, we're different because we're red. Well, we're different because we're blue. There is a slight difference. I'm not saying there's not, but as far as seeing through the illusion, like, people still don't get it. So I'm going to flip it. And I don't even blame the elites at this point. I'm not saying they're not doing bad stuff. They are. But if people are this dumb, you get what you put in. God is great, in my view. I don't view evil as running the world. Evil runs the material world. God runs the real world. God's power is more powerful than evil. So I don't live in that reality where I want what they have or I'm buying what they're selling. I'm not jealous or envious of their power because I don't want it. True power is bigger than even money can buy. When you have a social influence from trust and honesty and authenticity, people can't buy that. Even billionaires want, I'm Mark Zuckerberg. Why do people hate me? Well, because you're not as authentic as Joe Rogan. You know what I'm saying? Or you're not as authentic as Trump was. So people don't like you because you're not being real. And when you're in interviews, you're a little stiff and whatever. But, even with all the money in the world, Zuckerberg can't buy likability. I almost kind of feel bad for him, but not really. So you get what I'm saying? We also can't play the victim. I'm not one of these people that says, oh, those groups shouldn't play the victim, but we're the victim because they're hurting us. No one's hurting anyone if you break out of that illusion. When you play into their fake arena and fake world, you live in their world and you lose that game every time. When you rise above that world, you understand that these people aren't that powerful and they can't dictate that much. You know what I'm saying? They have their hands full. When you tell the truth, I'm not saying everybody's completely honest, like everybody makes mistakes, but when you tell the truth, it's a lot easier in the long run than lying and covering up all the time. That's exhausting. What they're doing is exhausting. It exhausts me even thinking about having to do what they do. Like, they're not having fun. It's not fun doing what they're doing. They're running in circles. Don't say that. Don't say this. Just shut up. Don't say, that's not a rewarding life. That's not a rewarding message. So that's the narrative that we need to frame it in, is God runs the real world. The devil runs the material world, and there's more power in the realness than there is in the fakeness. It's all fake. So, I'm not tripping about any of that. And the people, when you rise above their fake stuff, you get good results, And I see it like this too. Like, sometimes I think there's people who reject God, and that's fine. I mean, you could do what you want. But say like an athlete, if an athlete wins the Super Bowl and he's the MVP and he just had an amazing game or whatever, and he says, God is great, I believe in God, and then there's like atheists on the sidelines that are like, oh, well, that's stupid. He's so stupid. Well, then you go catch 3 touchdown catches in the Super Bowl. Did you not do that? So something about his view is real. I'm sure there have been atheists who've won the Super Bowl too, but I'm just saying, like, people always have the opinion, well, oh, that doesn't matter. Well, guys, it's like, then go do something great and lead by example, and then I'll be more interested in your opinion. So I see it as like, that's my view on the stuff. And I don't think that all of this is unjustified because people get what they want. If you have the world at your fingertips, but you don't want to work hard, that's on you. If you don't appreciate the blessings of America, the reason that immigrants tend to work hard, not all of them, but original immigrants, people that came here 100 years ago, 50 years ago, even now there's people that work hard. Don't get it twisted. But the reason is because a lot of times they've been from somewhere. They know it's not all this good. Yeah, America's crazy and it's kind of messed up in a lot of ways, but there's money here. And you can say what you want, but when you make enough, if you come from Mexico and work here, yeah, but you make so much money on a low wage job that you could send a couple $100 back to your family in Mexico and feed a whole family over there. The Philippines doesn't have the money like this. A lot of Asian countries don't have the money like this. Some do, but there's a lot of opportunity here. So why should God bless you? Why should this nation bless you if you don't even bless yourself? Nobody's forcing us to do all this stuff. We've been tricked. We've been bamboozled, but now it's time to learn our lessons. So I don't feel like a victim in this country. Like, I'm not shocked that this stuff's happening because in a weird way, we kind of deserve it. If enough people are going to get this lazy, if enough people are going to squander their opportunities, if enough people don't want to grab life by the horns, if enough people want to just act like Big Pharma should do that, or act like these people should do that, or act like we should pass this law, if enough people are this dumb, we're going to get dumb results. So it's time for the American people to not play the victim if you're right wing or anything, and say, maybe this is a lesson and people need to learn their lesson. And I'm not reveling in the wickedness of it, but it's like, I don't come from this place of like, oh, we deserve freedom and we deserve liberty. And if we're not going to work for it, if we're not going to act on it, if we're not going to appreciate it, too many people don't appreciate the First Amendment. Too many people don't appreciate the opportunity here. And I think too many right wingers are just grifting, and they're more concerned about money, power, fame, ego than they are about their message. I would say the message is like such a low percentage that they've gotten into these echo chambers of other people like them who just want to hang out and act cool, but they don't even challenge themselves anymore. They've lost critical thinking skills. So, it's all good, but, no playing victim on our side either. We need to understand that people will manipulate us and take advantage of us if we're dumb enough to constantly get tricked in the same system, in the same cycle, in the same back and forth ping pong ball between red and blue. They've gotten us, right? Quite a few times. They've given us things stick to our principles, stick to God, and I think we'll be fine. I'm not really tripping about it, but I do want the economy to go back up. I mean, hopefully they didn't print too much money with what they did in 2020. I mean, it was not ideal. Everything they did the last 2 years. Like, I pray that the sneaky bankers figure out how to balance the books, because inflation and the stock market is not cool. Let's see. Someone said to have freedom is easy, to use that freedom is getting hard. Yeah, and there's certain freedoms that are really important for society, in my opinion. Like, you want to be able to speak truth to power. We live in a religious society. It's just our religion isn't Christ anymore. Our religion is like rainbow flag, foreign countries, and like, black front groups that aren't even really black groups. But it's like, that's, or big pharma. You can't, Pfizer is the Allah of the Western world. Like, Muslims are laughing at us, because it's like, oh, you're so crazy that you protect the name of Allah. At least it's a God. At least that's like a righteous, our God is Pfizer in America, not mine, but you can't question the product that they're selling. Is that really better? I'm not like, but like, we don't even have free speech here. Free speech is important. I think the Second Amendment's pretty obvious, like the right to privacy, owning private property, not giving it to like a socialist system. These are all important. But then also, freedom can turn into hedonism really fast. So I think discipline is important. I think the balance of freedom and discipline makes a great man, not just full freedom, in my view. So I'm not saying we shouldn't have it. I think we should in a lot of categories, but I'm so free I could eat whatever I want right now. It doesn't make it a good idea. Someone said Pfizer frog throat. That was a weird video. I did see that. That's a very bizarre one. If it's even real, I don't know. Let's see. What Americans call freedom is just certain abilities to travel and work is all. We are not truly free. Well, it's way harder than people think to get free, and a lot of ways to make money, you have to sacrifice something to even get the money to be free. So it's tough. Well, listen, like life is never easy. We can act like, oh my God, this is so bad. But back in the day, like you couldn't even get food. You had to hunt. People were killing each other over explorations. There's probably pros and cons to how it used to be, but this is not the worst time ever. I think we're over inundated with options. I think that our problem is almost that we have too much. And I'm not saying don't get it twisted, but most people are struggling because they're just over optioned with like cell phone and content, and it's just too much. Even myself, it's like that probably affects me more than Biden, just using my time right. But all right, I'm gonna take off. Let me see. We are living like animals in a zoo. Zoo animals are comfortable but not free. Yeah, but I think God gave us the critical thinking skills to not play the victim and figure out what it takes. Just like if I wanted to be a bodybuilder, it's not easy, but I do have the tools to do it. I just got to work hard and possibly take substances. I don't know. It's the same thing with being free. You can free yourself from the zoo that is society, but it's definitely not easy. But nothing great is easy. So I think even for myself, like there's a lot of things I could do. I just don't do it. So it's like that making those decisions, like, yeah, I could move to Colorado and be a, water canyon instructor or something and do it, but I'm free from social media. You do that for 2 weeks and you're like, dang, I'm bored. I want to do that. Like, sometimes the grass is always greener on the other side, and we have the option to make a change and work towards that. Appreciate you guys. God bless you. Just real quick, a few things. I did a special bonus episode with Clint from Liberty Lockdown. It was really fun. We did like an hour or so behind my Patreon paywall and also Facebook subscribers. So if you're on Facebook and you subscribed, you can see that now. I posted it. Go check that out if you want to watch extra content. If you're on my Patreon, it's patreon.com/raretalk, RARETALK, Rare Talk, patreon.com/Rare Talk. I think it was like the funniest episode yet. We were laughing a lot of times, making jokes and weighing in on stuff. We weighed in on Brittany Griner. Let me actually look at the list. I kind of forget what we talked about. The Merchant of Death guy, what happened in Brazil with the elections. People wanted me to weigh in on that. The Fed statements, he knows more about that. I'm kind of confused by what the Fed's doing. I get it. It's like they raise interest rates. This is good. This is bad. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. We talked about the debate I had with Rudy Rockman, the Jewish Israeli activist, and I kind of had my analysis on that. So if you want to know like my afterthoughts of how that went or what I thought about it, that's there. So Patreon or Facebook. And also stayintouchwithme.com is my free email list. Telegram.com/DreamRareChat is my Telegram. And really, I'm going to focus on those two links because my email list, stayintouchwithme.com, gives me a little bit of power, and it also can be leveraged for business and stuff when I need it. Off of social media and all the other stuff, they just keep like switching and taking away and shutting things off. So I'm just going to funnel the traffic to their Telegram and also to stayintouchwithme.com, my free email list. Appreciate you guys. Have a beautiful day. I'll be back soon.